Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the subject of social sciences for the class 10th English medium, the chapter number 5, India's Heritage of Science and Technology by Vitan sir. My dear friends, this is one of the most important chapter because a full 4 mark question will be always be asked from this particular chapter. Even in the old syllabus, this was an important chapter because a full 5 mark question was asked from this. This chapter contains all the big questions. So learn it properly. It is very easy to remember and you are sure to score the 4 marks out of this chapter. Ancient India in the field of science and technology. As you can see, our ancient Indians were experts in almost everything which we think the foreigners are expert at, whether it would be metallurgy or chemistry or science of medicine, surgery, mathematics, astronomy, astrology, vastu shastra or physics. Even apart from literature, art, religion, education, and philosophy, we were the greatest in the science and technology. Even the modern age researches have proved that India had a scientific attitude along with religious outlook since ancient time, and even today we are going forward with the same thing. We will start with the first thing, that is the metallurgy. Metallurgy basically means the science of using metals. Now metals could be so many things. The people of India have been using metals in their practical life since Harappan period or even before that. This we can see from the progress in the field of metallurgy. A metallic idol of a female dancer was discovered from Indus Valley civilization that could be known as an example of metallurgy in ancient India. Apart from them, the statue of Buddha belonging to Kushan period of found from the Takshashila. Takshashila, we have studied about it in the last chapter. Apart from that, during the Chol period, numerous metal idols were made. The idol of Nataraj, it is considered the masterpiece of sculpture all over the world. It is preserved in the museum at Chennai. Another idol, the Ram the Archer, can be seen in the museum. Gods and goddesses, birds, animals, so many things, arts, artifacts, statues of metals have been seen. Apart from artifacts, utensils of metal, the equipments, tools of the metals have been seen from the ancient era that gives us the proof of metallurgy in ancient India. Chemistry. Now, chemistry is an experimental science. It is useful for minerals, plants, say, seeds for agriculture, making various metals or bringing changes into metals. All of these things need the chemistry. And when we talk about the ancient Indian chemistry, we can't forget the contribution of Acharya Nagarjun, who has also written a book named Ras Ratnakar, and his old achievement. Acharya Nagarjun was a Buddhist of Nalanda University and he was in the field of chemistry. He has written Rasratnakar and Arogya Manjri. He suggested the use of allopathical medicines along with herbal medicines. It is also believed that he used mercury ash as herbal as a medicine, and it was him who started its use first. Nalanda University was a big university. We learnt about it in the last chapter. It had its own school of chemistry and its own personal furnace for the study and experiments. The main rus means the chemicals, the uprus, subchemicals, 10 types of poisons, and the types of salts, ashes of minerals, everything was discovered in chemistry in our ancient India. The copper statue of Buddha reflect an expert knowledge and skill in the field of chemistry. Copper statue of Buddha discovered from Sultanganj in Bhagalpur of Bihar is 7.5 feet high, weighs 1 ton. Another statue of Buddha at Nalanda is 18 feet high. Another example of chemistry is the Vijay Stambh, the 24-feet high iron pillar which weighs 7 tons. It was built by Chandragupta II. That means almost 2000 years before. So since last 2000 years, it has passed through the monsoon and summer and winter, and it has stood through all of those things and it has not yet corroded. So that we can say is an example of the chemistry and the metal science of ancient India, which even we don't have today. Science of medicine and surgery. Now, India has always been famous for these kinds of sciences. The science of medicine and surgery. Since ancient period, Maharshi Charak, Maharshi Sushrut and Vagbhat pioneered, initiated, gave the roots of the Indian medicine sciences and surgeries, and the research is reached to the greatest height. In the bottom right corner, you can see a picture with so many instruments. If you think these are the instruments of doctors in the surgery, yes, they are, but these are the instruments of at least 2000 years or 600 years before Christian era. The exact time period is not known, but these are not the instruments of the today's era. These are the instruments of 2000, 3000 years ago, and these are almost the same instruments used today in the surgery itself. So you can see that today's surgery has its roots in the ancient India. Maharshi Charak has written the Charak Samhita, in which he has mentioned the use of 2000 medicinal herbs. Maharshi Sushrut has mentioned instruments used in the surgery. Such instruments were so sharp that they split a vertical hair into two divisions. Vagbhat has also written Vagbhat Samhita, and Charak Samhita, Sushrut Samhita and Vagbhat Samhita are considered very useful even in the allopathy field. The herbal science of ancient time was enriched with the huge collection of minerals and medicines. They presented us with a detailed and complicated process of making medicines, their classification, their usages. Also, they could even stop blood circulation with ball-shaped bandages. They could operate on abdomen, kidney, cataract, hernia, stone, piles, bladder, etc. In the last left bottom picture, you can see they are performing a cataract surgery in the eyes of a patient. They could classify and join the broken or displaced bones. They can extract things pierced into the body easily. They can recognize symptoms, diagnose the disease, and give dietary directions after the recovery of the disease. They also had the knowledge of a plastic surgery, of joining noses and ears. They showed interest in teaching students the method of surgery by doing surgery either on a dead body or on a wax statue. They also conducted risky operations during the delivery of a newborn child. They were expert gynecologists and pediatricians. Apart from the human medicines, they were also experts in veterinary sciences. You can see these things in the Hasti Ayurved by Shalihotra and Ashwashastra. These are the books famous for horses and elephants, the medicines of horses and elephants. Scholars, writers of medicines, Vagbhat made a valuable contribution in this by writing Ashtang in the field of diagnosis. So these are the contribution of our ancient sages in the field of medicine and surgery. Mathematics, if we talk about, all of us know that Aryabhat gave us the use of zero into the mathematics. So the gift of India to the world is the discovery of zero, but that's not all. The decimal system, the algebra, the theorem of Bodhayan, geometry, arithmetic, all of these things were given by Indians to the world. Aryabhat discovered zero. Also, the process of writing zero after figures was discovered by a sage named Grutzmad. That means just the discovery of zero is not important. How to write zero after the figures was also discovered by Indian. The names of the numbers made up by placing 53 zeros after one. We call tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Like that, up to 53 zeros, the names were given by our ancient Indians. Decimal system has been seen for measuring and weighting instruments. Since the Harappa and Mohenjo-daro era, means 5,000 to 7,000 years ago, the decimal system, the weighing measuring system was there in India, where every other part of the world was like growing just seeds. Bhaskaracharya has written a book named Lilavati Ganit and Bij Ganit in 1150 Anna Domini. He discovered the signs of current signs of addition and subtraction. Brahmagupta introduced the types of equations. Bodhayan discovered the triangle policy. Apastham decided the measurement of sacrificial pits, that is the Yagya Vedis, used for Vedic Yagyas in Shalva Sutra, the book named Salva Sutra, which was written before Christ 1800 years. It is also consists the analysis of various principles. Aryabhat mentioned the value of pi. In one of the pictures above, you can see the value of pi written till infinity, something like infinity. He has written the value of pi in his book, the Aryabhatyam. He said that pi is a constant which shows the ratio of circumference and diameter of a circle. Multiplication, addition, subtraction, square root, cube root, etc. Ashtang methods, the eight limb method introduced by Aryabhat in his book Aryabhat is known as the father of mathematics. That's why Aryabhat is known as the father of mathematics. Moreover, he has also written many books like Dash Gitika and Aryabhatyam. He described main principles of astronomy in his book Arya Siddhant. He has given the solution of fundamental of mathematics, that is the arithmetic and geometry. Many proofs were given by Aryabhat about the arithmetic and geometry. The aspects of mathematics have been discussed by many scholars in their own books. Scholars like Bodhayan, Apastham, Katyayan, Bhaskaracharya, Brahmagupta are the part of our ancient Indian sages who were the masters of the mathematics of their own time. Moving forward to astronomy and astrology. Now, many people are confused between astronomy, astrology. Astronomy is the science of planets, and astrology, we can call it Jyotish today. But astronomy and astrology are very closely related because astrology depends on the astronomical information to calculate its predictions. Astronomy is considered one of the most ancient sciences. Many works related to astronomy have been written in India. A deep study of astrology, the Jyotish, was made by Indian ancient universities, not just people, the universities. Planets, their movements, the constellations, and celestial objects. Celestial objects means the planetary movements, the stars, the meteors, everything which is in the universe is called a celestial object, were used for the calculations which was used by astrology and astronomy. Predictions were made on the basis of planetary movements. Aryabhat made a remarkable contribution in the field of astronomy. That was the reason that the first Indian satellite was named Aryabhat, due to recognize the contribution of Aryabhat. Aryabhat declared that the earth rotates on its own axis, and he proved that the reason for lunar eclipse is the shadow of earth, and this was named as Ajarbhar by the scholars. Brahmagupta popularized the law of gravitation in his book Brahma Siddhant. Varamihir was the great astrologer and astronomer. Remember my words, my dear students, that always astrologers, astronomers, the mathematicians, they were the one and the same people. It wasn't like today in the ancient times. Today, every field has specialties, while in the ancient times, a single person used to be expert in everything because mathematics is connected with astronomy, astrology is connected with astronomy, even the science is connected with all of these things. So usually a one person used to be everything, so same name will be repeated in most of the times. For example, Varamir was a mathematician, he was an astrologer, he was an astronomer, but due to his contribution in astrology by dividing it into three sections, that is Tantra, Hora and Sanhita, he has been remembered as a great astrologer rather than a mathematician or an astronomer. His Granth named Brihat Samhita gives information about the effects of planets on man's future, his characteristics, classes of animals, the time of marriage, the making of ponds or wells or gardens, or the omen for sowing the seeds for getting harvest. We should feel pride that our ancestors have contributed so much to our world. If we talk about the Vastu Shastra, that there is an immense contribution of ancient India in the field of Vastu Shastra. It is an inseparable part of astrology. First of all, that Vastu Shastra is related with the making of structures. We can say that Vastu means structure, and Vastu Shastra gives the knowledge about how to make a structure. And to make a structure, we need to learn the astronomy, and therefore Vastu Shastra is a part of astrology, the Jyotish Shastra. Vastu Shastra of India is being recognized and praised by many countries of the world. If you have heard the word Feng Shui, then yes, you are studying about the Vastu Shastra itself, because the Vastu Shastra, when was exported to China, the Chinese named it Feng Shui, and they have re-exported it to our country as their own. But Feng Shui has its roots in the Vastu Shastra itself. Brahma, Narad, Bruhaspati, Bhrigu, Vasisht, Vishwakarma, all of these are known as the creators of Vastu Shastra. They have propagated, they have given the principles of construction for dwellings, for temples, for palaces, ashwashalas, forts, storehouses of ammunition, and the town planning. The description of Vastu Shastra is mentioned in the Brihat Samhita. Rana Kumbha of Mewar revived this science in the 15th century. According to a traditional belief, Vishwakarma was the first architect of gods. He's divided Vastu Shastra into 8 sections. You remember this thing. Various information of Vastu Shastra like selection of place, shapes, structure, planning of things, creating temples, creating brahmsthans, creating dining rooms, in which direction to keep a bedroom or kitchen, etc. things are mentioned in detail in this Vastu Shastra. As the time passes by, some changes do take place regarding the principles and understanding of Vastu Shastra, and as this Shastra is spread all over the world, different people transform it according to the current requirements and rename it into their own things. It has been adopted a lot by the foreigners also. As you can see here, these are some of the depictions of how Vastu Shastra is calculated according to directions and all that. Apart from metallurgy and chemistry and mathematics and medicine and astronomy, astrology, there are so many other fields in which the ancient Indian sages have written books on. For example, Prajanan Shastra by Brahmabharavya Panchal. The Prajanan Shastra is basically how to reproduce. The second is Chikitsa Sangrah by Chakra Pandita. Chakrapani Datta, my mistake. Chikitsa Sangrah, that is, Chikitsa is actually diagnosis, so how to diagnose. Then comes Kama Sutra by Vatsyayan. This is about the life of a couple. Vruksha Ayurved by Maharshi Parashar, about the greeneries, the trees, the vegetation and flora and fauna. It is about all that. That even the gardening courses people know about. It is something like that. Yoga Shastra by Maharshi Patanjali, something all of us already know. And then Yantra Sarvaswa, Maharshi Bharadwaj, about the, Yantra means machines. It shows that there were machines in the ancient times, and researches were made on those things. Kala Ganana Shakmuni. Kal is time, the calculation of time. As we have seen in this chapter, that ancient Indian knowledge of science has been accepted by the whole world. Indian culture is very vast, very heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means a lot of different things uh, mixed up together. So it is heterogeneous. It is a blending, a mixture of science and religion, traditional ideas and practical knowledge. And this kind of a mixture, a combination is rarely seen in any other country of the world. Mainly because these many religions or these many cultures or that long of a history is nowhere seen in all over the world. The tolerance and equality towards all religions is seen in our culture. Even after having this much diversity in religion, the lifestyle and values are the same for any Indian. We should not forget that the Indian culture reflects the unique feature of unity and diversity. So with that, I end the fifth chapter. I hope you guys understood this chapter perfectly. This is a very important chapter. Keep on revising this chapter because it is important with the examination point of view. But don't just learn for the exams. Try to learn for the sake of information. If you find some names intriguing, if you want to know further details about the certain names and their works, feel free to Google it up and you will get a lot of information on the Google Devta. See you guys soon. Keep on studying, keep home, stay safe. See you soon.